What are you going to do today? Are you going to do the same thing today you did yesterday and expect a different result? Change what you think, change what you do, and tomorrow will be different from today. You know why it's so simple for me? Because I have a lot of experience. You can only change your tomorrows by changing yourself today.
Yeah.
Are we live? Make sure you have your, we got to check to make sure we're on. Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration, the Power is Within podcast. We're having some technical difficulties. I don't know why, but we are. So several of them. Can you hear?
I'm checking.
We're checking to see if, put a one in the chat if anybody's watching now at the moment and if you can hear us. I'm not sure if we have any viewers yet or not. Oh, okay. So we got sound. Well, we're viewing. All right. So tonight is going to be a tribute to Kevin. Are we ready?
Yep.
Ready? Yeah. Oh, a tribute to Kevin Samuels. He passed away the other day. I was sorry to hear that. I did not know him personally, but I listened to him quite a bit on his podcast, and I liked him because he told it like it was. But a lot of people didn't like that. As usual, the masses don't like to be told the truth because if you accept the truth, you have to look within yourself. And most people don't want to do that. They want to blame everybody else. And he particularly told black women what they needed to do to get a high-value man. And he also told the ones that weren't able to get one why they couldn't get one. And they certainly didn't like that. But the reality of it is when someone tells you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear, that's actually love. I mean, if you love somebody, what if they're an alcoholic, for example, and they're drinking? You're going to say, oh, no, you're okay. You're drinking a fifth a day. It's fine. No, it's not a problem. No, if you love the guy and he asks you, and these women called up and asked him. Nobody forced them to call. They called on their own. And a lot of the women in the black community, I believe, that they've seen on the internet are bashing him or celebrating his death. Some of the people in the black community. And it's like he helped the black community. I think it was like a day before he passed away or 2 days before, I was watching one of his podcasts or he was being interviewed by someone. And he was talking about how he was floored one day because some woman sent him a message or called him out and told him how he had actually saved her marriage and just really helped her out. Because he spoke directly to these women. He didn't sugarcoat it. He told them what they needed to do or where they made the mistake. And people just don't like that. The reality of it was he really helped a lot of people. And the ones that he didn't help are the ones that didn't want to accept the truth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was really sorry to hear he passed. I was hoping it was one of those internet rumors that wasn't true, but it turned out to be true. It was a real shock and surprise. So it's going to leave quite a hole. He really provided a great service. At least that's my opinion. Other people didn't think that. So what do you guys think about this? What's going on here?
I think it's kind of sad that he passed away, but I remember one time I was watching one of his videos while we were at work, and there was this one guy who was thinking about getting married to one of his girlfriends, and he told him, he's like, oh, you're still young. He's like, continue living life and all that sort of stuff. And I've listened to quite a couple of his videos. He gave it a lot of advice to the black community and also the white community too, if they watched him. So even though he passed away, he left a big mark on anybody who ever watched him, which is what I'm really glad about.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he personally uploaded more than most people would. I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but I lost my train of thought for a second. He uploaded a good amount to where people would need to know what they needed to know, and people hated that for him, hated that. But what he posted was just the straight up truth. It's what they needed to know, and that one woman said it saved her marriage, and she didn't even know.
I agree with Brayden and Claude. But here's the thing. I didn't really watch him that much, but I remember I still have a saved video of this girl talking about how, she wanted to be in her 20s and party and everything. And she what's it called? One of the guy that made six figures and he was like 6 foot some or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, the 360. Well,
Yeah.
what do you think, Pauline? I know you didn't watch very much, but you knew.
I don't know who he
Well, he
is.
would straight up ask women what their dress size was, how old they were, and how much they weighed. And then, a lot of times they'd be pretty good sized women and they'd have a kid or two in tow.
Mhm.
And he'd say, and you want a man that makes six figures, 6 foot tall, and a what's the other one? Six pack abs.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you have to offer? So he would basically call them out that they were being unrealistic because now I'm not saying that that's an impossibility for them to find someone like that, but it really lowers their chances when they're over 30 and they got a couple kids and they're really overweight. How do they expect to get a man? Because those men are looking for girls in their 20s who don't have kids, who haven't developed a lot of baggage that they're carrying. I watched one. Oh, I watched one the other day. He had on this really attractive woman. She was probably 37. And man, she was good looking too. No kids, but she was struggling because she couldn't find a high value man. Well, when she was in her early 20s, she went through a lot of those guys. She had her opportunity and she let it slide. So now she's older and she's educated. And that's something else he talked about. These women, one of his jokes or however they would say, oh, I got a PhD, because women think that makes them attractive, and it doesn't. Guys don't really give a crap about their education. As long as they don't just lay around the house and do nothing, the kind of men that Kevin would say they couldn't get because of, they were overweight and out of shape and had a couple kids and maybe a couple different baby daddies, the kind of man, I lost my train of thought too. They don't want that kind of man. I mean, they don't want that kind of woman. They want a woman that, is cooperative. And a lot of these women he talked to were argumentative. He would cut them off because they wanted to argue with everything. Yet they were calling him and asking him why they couldn't get a man like that or how they could get a man like that.
They would request to be on. So
Yeah, he also asked this one girl, he asked, how tall are you? And she's like, oh, I'm 5'3". And then he's like, how much do you weigh? And she's like, that doesn't matter. And she's like, I already told you I'm fat. And he's like, then get off my show. And
Yeah.
kicked her off.
Yeah, he was direct. He wouldn't put up with any crap. He'd cut him off. I mean, but you have to do that to keep control of the show. Otherwise, he couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he really helped people, and then a lot of people are bad mouthing him now. So
Yeah.
I watched this podcast later today, and it was about marriage, and it was a woman that had like 2 baby daddies and no marriage, and then she was wondering why she couldn't get married. But she was. He also asked him why she didn't marry him, or like what's the delay in it. And he said, he told her straight up, he's good enough to be a baby daddy, but not a father, like a marriage.
yeah,
One thing that I really liked about him, like you said, is that he was straightforward. He was direct. He didn't sugarcoat anything. And another thing I liked about his podcast is before they would start, he would play that good music. Everybody loves good music.
yeah. He had. Let me see. He had. The Atlanta Police Department responded. Let me see how many he had following. 1.4 million subscribers is what he had on YouTube. Okay. And he also had, I don't know how many followers on Instagram. It was over 1 million, I think. And he had shows on, or he had podcasts on Instagram. Says he died Thursday morning when the responders arrived. They began administering CPR. He is unresponsive. He was identified as Samuels. He was taken to the hospital. I guess he died. News that he died in the hospital. It was a terrible thing for social media to put that out. His mother said to NBC News, "I didn't even know. I hadn't even been notified. All I'm doing is requesting that people pray for us." A woman in the East Paces Ferry Road, I don't know what that is, apartment, told officers that Samuels was complaining about chest pains. I guess he had a heart attack before collapsing. She then called 911. Says received multiple requests for information that he has passed away. I thought they talked about. I thought I had some more on here about him, but that's it, really. So, but I know there was a lot of people on the internet, YouTube, some people celebrating his death, like they were glad he was gone. But it just goes along with what's going on in the U.S. today. Anybody that says anything to women that they don't like, it's like, you're a misogynist. He was called a misogynist many times. I've been called a misogynist a few times. Not as many as him, but I don't have the following he had.
Yeah, I've been called misogynist.
And I mean, it's like nowadays, anybody that has an opinion that doesn't go along with, like, let's say, here you go. I want a woman that stays home, cooks and cleans, and takes care of the kids. Oh, you want a slave. You misogynist. That's just what I want. Now, a woman could say she wants a man with six figures, six-pack abs, and 6 feet tall, and that's okay. But when a man states his preference, and Samuel's talked about this too, about what he wants, I want a woman that's thin, in shape, never had kids, whatever it happens to be, then he's a hater or he's a misogynist because he's objectifying women. But yet they objectify themselves on what? OnlyFans, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere the women objectify themselves. They know what they have their beauty, and they use it. But what Samuel's told a lot of them was this, that you have to make use of that beauty between the ages of, he would say, like 18 and 25 maybe. And he had what he called the danger zone. He would always play that when they're getting around 27 or 28 because they're getting late, and they got to find, it's not that women that age are not good women. It's just that's what the market is. That's what the men are looking for. They're looking for women under that age. Mm-hmm. Because, one example, when I married your mother, I wanted to have 8 kids. So I married a young woman under 18 in another country before you guys start having a fit over that. But if you want to have 15 kids, you can't get a woman 27, 28 years old. You're not, practical reasons, you just can't do that. You're not going to be able to have that many kids. And if a man wants 3 or 4 kids, he's more than likely wanting a woman that's 22 or 23. Because even at that age, and you have one every year, when they get around 30, as I've said before, 90% of their eggs are gone. Yeah. And the chances of high-risk pregnancy go up. So if a man wants to have several kids, he's going to look for a young, fertile woman. And women don't like that because they're told, well, go out and party, enjoy your years. You got plenty of time. You can freeze your eggs. That's all bullshit. Yeah, they can do that, but are they going to be able to find a man that can support them? Because a lot of women say, and a lot of the women that called him up would say, I want to stay home and I want to be a traditional wife, take care. You got to have a man that makes good money to do that. Yeah. If you're going to support her and the kids. So, that's what he promoted and that's what he talked about.
Yeah. One thing that I really liked about, it's sad that he passed away, but he's one of the first people who, I guess I've watched that, passed away, but, he gave a lot of men and women advice, and I noticed a lot of TikToks that, people have been posting about, him passing away and all that, and he showed me one. It was from, some movie reference where the man was straight up to a woman, but, at the top, there was a caption that said, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels, but there's been a lot of men posting about videos or all that sort of stuff about him passing away. But now that he's gone, that'd be a good thing for people to start being more straight up, following his footsteps. Don't sugarcoat things, just be straight up about it.
Well, it's hard. I've had women get pissed off at me just because and he was accused of it too also, talking directly. They take it as being rude. Because women are emotional. They feel. It has nothing to do with logic. Well, I feel like you're being rude to me. I feel like you're being rude. You're not. You're just being direct without emotion. You're using logic. Like if you look at a woman and say, okay, you want a man that makes 6 figures, 6 feet tall and 6-pack abs, and you're 150 pounds. Well, you're too big. You're not going to find it. You need to get in shape. What do you have to offer that man that he can't get or would better yet have from a girl that's 22 years old who's in shape? That hurts a woman's feelings. And I understand that, but that's the truth. And, I understand because there's been times in my life, I have people now in my life that tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And when they tell me what I need to hear that I don't want to hear, it kind of hurts. But I accept it because that's why it hurts, because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But you do that to a woman, and they get upset. And what they'll do, a lot of times, they'll start attacking your character. They'll get off the subject, and they'll start actually going after you like, well, look at you. You're a whatever. They'll make up some rude comment or something. Well, you're old. They do that to me. sometimes I say, well, I made a statement the other day. There was a girl they posted, and they said she was recognized as one of the most beautiful women in the U.S. or something like that. And I said, she's pretty, but she's a little big for me and kind of soft. And she was. She was a little heavy and kind of soft looking, like she didn't work out. Some lady come back and said, well, you're old. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm 61. But it just pissed her off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, that's just my opinion. I didn't say she was a bad person.
Yeah.
See, when men talk logical, I'm not saying she's a bad person. She just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
Too big for me. She was pretty, but it's just not my type. And wouldn't it be terrible if everybody liked the same type of girl? I mean, that would really make it hard on everybody. And for the girls too.
Too much competition.
Yeah, too much competition. I mean, everybody likes, well, they say different strokes for different folks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then that's just the way women are. They're emotional. You very seldom could tell a woman something directly about her appearance, because appearance is so important to women, because they understand. They may say they don't want to be objectified, but they understand everybody looks at them for their looks. And that's why a lot of these women, they'll be out there in their early 20s partying and doing the fast life. There was one model, I can't think of what her name was, when she turned 50. She says, I think we need to quit She was starting like some campaign to stop objectifying women. But yet in her 20s, when she was out jet setting on the yachts and hanging out with all these rich guys, she wasn't doing that then. She was taking advantage of it. They complain about that when they can't use it anymore. But when it works for them, they're not complaining about it.
Yeah.
But they can't seem to see that when they get older, that, well, I was enjoying that then. But what happens is they get angry because they can't do it anymore. Well, that's not right. Well, it was okay when you could use your beauty, but when they can't use their beauty and other girls are getting and doing what they were doing when they were younger, they don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
So they're not able to realize that, hey, I had my time. It's just like me. I had my time boxing. I'd love to get in there and fight again, but I can't. But I'm not going to say, well, them young people shouldn't be fighting. I think that's abusive and that's too brutal. I think they ought to stop that. Well, I didn't mind it when I was in there brutalizing people or when they're beating the crap out of me. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the attention. I liked everything about it. But it's the same thing. That would be the same thing as if I did that with boxing, is what they do with beauty and age. As long as it works for them, they're okay with it. But when they get older and it doesn't work, then they want to criticize it and say, well, that's not right. We shouldn't do that. We should accept people for who they are. I agree, but beauty is just, they use it for advertising. They use it everywhere. I mean, it's used to sell everything from cigarettes to clothing lines to cars, everything.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I notice about men, like being straight up with women, is some of them will be scared because they can't handle the emotion of the woman. So my question is, what would you say to someone that is scared to be just straight up to a woman?
I'd say you need to grow a pair, because women even though they complain about it, a lot of them women that complain about Kevin Samuels, they would have probably went out with him in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you think the best way to handle a woman coming after you've been straight up to them?
What do you mean,
So say for instance,
when they get upset, you mean?
Yeah.
It's to not react, not respond, because really a man says his piece. Let's example. Let's say you're out with a girl and she's eating too much. Maybe you think she's overweight, but let me see. You'd have to have a relationship with her. Okay. And you said, honey, you probably ought to back off on the eating a little bit because you've gained a few pounds. You've been going out with her. She's your girlfriend. She may get upset about that. Okay. But let her get upset. Let a woman feel what she's going to feel. Now, a lot of people think, oh, God, that's mean as hell. But if you love somebody, like I said with the drinking, and your girlfriend doesn't want to be overweight, and she worries about it, and you see she's eating too much, you say, hey, honey, you better back off. Remember, you're trying to lose a few pounds. Okay, if that upsets her, then just let it upset her. You don't go into this, well, you told me that, to help you out and to watch, because they will ask you sometimes to help them out in certain situations, like, would you help me go to the gym? And then when you push them to go do it, then they get angry because they know they should go. They know they ask you to help them, but yet they don't like it because they're being pushed. So as a man, you just say your piece. Hey, get up and go to the gym today. You told me to help you. If she starts, well, you're always pushing me. I don't like to be put. You don't say anything. You just say what you see. You don't argue with a woman. As a man, you say your part, and that's it. That's the end of it. Do not argue. Because she'll get all emotional and go off on a tangent, and she'll come back 5 minutes later like nothing ever happened. But if you argue with her, it just makes it worse.
Yeah, another thing I was gonna say is for Frank, for example, he'll be talking to these girls and he'll be bold, he'll be straight up about it, and at first they'll be like, oh, they'll start nagging him, but then Frank doesn't react. The minute they're gone, give it like a week or two, they start crawling back. They come crawling back super quick, and he always talks about it. He
Yeah,
always
and for
brings
me,
it up.
I'm straight up. Like I'm ignorant. And I'm so ignorant to the point where it's like if you're overweight, I'm gonna tell you straight up, like you're big.
Yeah. You can use a little tact.
Yeah, and
Well, something's wrong. I don't think it was saying you're big or you're
yeah,
overweight.
the thing about me is that like so many people want to learn how to be ignorant like me, which is I like that. But here's the thing: when you get too ignorant, like they'll start pulling away, and you'll know you messed up. But for me, I can be ignorant to the point where I can just make them come back if I really
Frank
want
is the
to.
asshole that women can't resist. That's
Yeah.
what it is. There's a book out there. Be the asshole that women can't resist. Paulina, let's get Paulina's view on this about if I've done it with you. You throw a fit about something. Remember when I used to kind of chase you and say, I'd come, you should act that way after all I do for you and all this. It never works.
Mhm.
But if I just let you go when you're ranting and raving, as long as you're not being too disrespectful, you always come back like nothing happened 5 minutes later. I mean, she does the same thing. And I say this too, and I know women aren't going to like this, but women are just like kids. They act like kids a lot of times because they act on their emotions. And until we grow up to a certain age, men, we act on our emotions also until we learn to regulate our emotions and control our emotions, which is very important for men now. But there's this narrative being pushed in the US or the West of feels before reals. How you feel is important. Well, that's showing up in the gender movement too. I don't want to get into that too much. That was last time I got. Yeah, okay, but yeah, it's all about how you feel, instead of how you really are.
Yeah. What was I gonna say something. Shoot, I can't remember. I lost.
Okay.
it. I had-
Well, then here we'll get Paulina. What do you feel about men getting like straight up?
Not men being straight up.
Yeah.
And all that,
Can you find a man that's straightforward, Polly, or a boyfriend, or whatever?
Not really. Because even if they try to be straightforward and I kind of show that it hurts my feelings, they like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Let me beat my head against the wall. Go
You
ahead.
gotta.
I've
If
done
you're,
that before.
yeah, if you're straightforward, you also have to be ignorant with it because.
Well, you have to not care. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to not be so concerned about what she thinks that you're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. No, you didn't mean to hurt her feelings. You don't have to say that. It's like you tell her, a woman wants a man who's not going to back down from her. Doesn't mean you're going to be pushing her around or being ignorant to her all the time. It means you're going to say what you say, what you think as a man, and if she doesn't like it, okay, see you later.
Yeah, and
Doesn't mean you don't care about her feelings.
also there's really easy ways to like piss a girl off, like make her fall in love. You know what I mean?
You know what they say?
It's
If
like,
it pisses her off, it works.
Yep. So it's like,
women would. You can do anything you want to with a woman, just don't bore her.
yeah. So I've gotten added by people before, and they've sent me pictures of themselves. I didn't really say anything about it, but when they sent them, I was like, okay. And then they're like, what do you look like? I sent pictures, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a 10 out of 10. And then they'll be like, no, you're not. You're not, because I didn't say anything about what they looked like because I
Right.
don't care.
Yeah. One thing I was gonna say is, you can be straight up, or you can be bold about like, not necessarily about doing something that'll be rude, but you can be straight up about what you want. You can talk to a woman and tell her like, look, this is what I want. This is what I want. It's like, and if you don't like it, then that's fine. You can go find somebody else to fit your standard, but I'm going to find somebody who's going to fit my standards. You got to be straight up and tell them what you want.
There's
Well,
also-
go ahead. I agree to that, but I will say this also. Along with that, you can tell a woman directly, but to communicate with her overtly, that's to tell them directly. A lot of times they don't get. You got to say it, but then you got to back it up too with action. Let's say you tell a woman, "Hey, I like this and I like that," and they do something you don't like. You can tell them you don't like it, but it's better to show them by withdrawing your attention, because attention is the coin of gold for women.
Yeah.
You can talk to them all day, but even if you're giving them bad attention, that's better than no attention. So when you back off, and it's not a game so much. Okay, if you're not doing what I like, then I'm just going to back off a little bit. I don't want to be around someone who's doing something I don't like, so you back off. and then they get the message. They don't, because you can tell them all day, you're doing this, I don't like it, but they don't quite get it until you actually withdraw your attention. Maybe it gives them time to think about, oh, he's not around now. Why is he? Oh, I was doing this and he didn't like that. Pauline, I see you smiling over there. What are you thinking about?
I don't like when you asked me a question. I lose my train of thought.
She was playing with the cord that's hanging on under the table. It's messed up.
Yeah, one thing I was gonna say is a good question is like, I guess you would say like the bare minimum or like bare maximum, like how much attention should you give a woman? That's my question. Like,
Well, with also
bare
being
minimum,
ignorant,
maximum.
I don't know which it is. It's like 2 compliments and an insult.
It's called the 2/3. Well, you're talking about, what is that? The takeaway? No, that's not it. The 2/3 rule is for every 2/3 she does for you, you do 1/3 for her. Because if you do as much for her or more than she does for you, that it kills attraction. It makes them like, it's almost like they take that as approval seeking, like you're doing that because you want her to like you.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is like, the question for me is, how much attention do you think you should give a woman?
Well, that depends on the situation. You have to measure that by how she's reacting. I mean, women love attention, so there's nothing wrong with giving them attention, but they get so much attention now from social media.
Yeah.
A lot of times the guy they notice is the one who's not paying attention to them. I'll give you an example. Back when I used to run around a lot when I was younger, if I were in a room with a lot of guys and a few girls, because there's never a lot of girls around here, if there was a really good looking girl in there, I would ignore her. And then she would start paying attention to me, put herself in a position where I could talk to her or whatever. And then I would talk to her, but because everybody else was paying attention to her, because around here you go to a party, used to be, maybe it's the same. There might be 20 guys and 3 girls. One of them's hot, if you're lucky. So everybody's like on her.
So, actually, a few days ago, some kid texted me about this girl that he was messing with or whatever, and she ended up moving on to some other guy. And he was texting me and telling me about how he missed her so much. He's like, I need her.
I could
And
change her.
I tried.
Don't ever
like,
tell a girl you need her.
Yeah, and I was
She
telling him,
doesn't
I
want that.
was like, bro, just move on. Like, just move on. Just go find somebody else. I was like, there's 10 times better girls out there than that one. And he's like, no, bro, like, I need her. And I was like, dude, no.
People
Like,
get one-itis.
that's what I'm saying.
Millions of girls in the world, and the girl can feel that, right, Paulina? We're trying to get her to join. You know what one-itis is, don't you? That's where they just get hung up on you, and you're the only girl in the world, and they live for you and breathe for you, and they can't live without you, and they're gonna cry if you don't.
Or they'll put you on the
don't leave
spot.
me.
They'll put you on the spot and be like,
I'm gonna kill myself
I'm
if
gonna
you
kill
break up
myself.
with me.
I'm nothing
How many
without
times have you heard that?
Probably like over 15 times.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Anytime they say that, they won't do it.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
it's the point. That
It's they keep
you want
saying
to
it.
kill attraction? You want to kill attraction? Tell
Do
the girl
that.
you need her. Tell her you can't live without her. Tell her if she passed away, you just don't know what you would do.
Yeah,
Tell her
person,
you'd kill yourself. Oh, we got to. I don't
And
know if we can say that here. We got to be
And
careful of that too.
sometimes, instead of the person being like, "Oh, I'm gonna KMS," they
No,
usually
let's say that.
say like, they'll like lead up to it instead of saying it. They'll be like, "I'm gonna do something stupid right now. I'm so sorry." And then I'm like, "Don't do it!" Like, "Oh my god, don't
Yeah.
do it."
I felt the same way when I was a teenager too. I mean, but I don't think I ever told a girl that because we just didn't do that.
Well,
kind of
because
stuff
and
back
what
then.
do I say? Like, "Oh my god, I'll stay with you." Like
I've had girls tell me that. Tell me that. Oh, I'm gonna, if you don't.
yeah,
I'll
and then
kill
it's like, "Oh my god, no, stop, please, don't do it."
yeah, and also there's talking back about the whole dude story. He posted on a story video from TikTok, and there's music in the background, and also it says, "I don't want to end up on your block list." And he's like, "You know who you are." Like, okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing: you're gonna end up on that block list if you don't stop simping. That's what's gonna happen. And I mean, I try to help kids, but they just don't listen.
Well, tell me, why are there so many simps now? You guys tell me. You're out there in simp land. I don't
let
know.
me start with this.
Okay,
Oh,
why are there
hold
so many simps?
So here's the thing: the girls that they get with, if they've had like, and I'm gonna say a body, if they've had one and they take his, then he will simp so fast. Like that kid will crack. And here's the thing: if you can't handle getting your body taken and like not being able to focus on yourself, then don't do it. like
You mean
because
getting your girl taken? Is that what you
no, like
Your
the girl will
V-card.
take his body,
take
like his V card. He
Oh,
take his virginity.
okay.
Yeah, when
I'm out of touch.
yeah,
with
when
the
when the girl does that to
modern
the guy ends up getting
V
obsessed,
card.
and the guy gets so obsessed to the point where he doesn't know what to do, so he'll just keep chasing the girl over and over and over,
Well,
and
it's
not.
kind of like if you say, for instance, like you had sexual intercourse with a girl and she liked it so much she fell in love with you.
Yeah.
But the thing with people like in our generation is that if you take a dude's virginity and he hasn't had a lot of girls or like a lot of experience with females, he will fall in love with her because he knows he won't get enough experience after her, or it's just I don't even know.
Yeah, he's got. At that point, you kind of have no pull. Like you can't.
You had
I'm not. I got
got
you
no
on this.
riz.
Okay. Well, the reason that that kind of stuff is happening is because when COVID was going around, everybody was staying inside, nobody was going out, so a lot of men started getting rusty with their game. Not only that, but a lot of women wouldn't go out. They, as a man, you're supposed to go out of your way to go hang out with a girl, and if she bails, then you find somebody else. But you got all these guys saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this and that whenever we hang out," and then as soon as they get there, they don't do nothing.
They're
and
sitting
then,
there with their arms crossed, their legs
Yeah.
close together.
They tell the girl what they're going to do,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
go.
they act all bold.
And then they go there and they don't do anything.
Yeah, but the minute they show up, the girl's sitting there, the guy's acting like completely awkward and all that, so she moves on.
Yeah.
Or another thing is, like how Paulina was talking about how guys are like, "Oh, I'm going to do something stupid." Well, here's the thing. It's not going to attract a girl if, like, let's say, for example, she finds out you're talking to more than one woman. She's going to call you out on it.
Yeah.
And then once they get caught, instead of being like, okay, yeah, I'm talking to other women, they'll be like, oh, no, this and that happened. They're saying this and that. And then they'll be like, they'll get all mad. I'm going to do something stupid. End up punching like the walls of trees and sending your girl a picture of their bloody knuckles as if
It's nothing. It didn't hurt.
Right.
So,
like,
Pauline, does that
actually-
turn you on when they do that?
Actually, a couple
Actually,
days ago.
It actually makes me like it makes me feel
Makes me wanna tell
very
him do it.
unsafe.
Kind of. What's that? Cringe. Is the word, right?
Cringy,
It's
yes,
cringy.
it's super cringy.
Look what I did for you.
Yeah,
Because,
last week that.
I'll be on. That happened last week.
They want their mommy. Go ahead. Somebody's at the door.
But yeah, I don't know. I just get really like by it. Like it makes me very uncomfortable because then it's just like, why are you hurting yourself? Like what are you getting out of that?
But Paulina, they could give you the world.
What are you getting out of that besides me being uncomfortable around you and cringed out?
One thing I was gonna say is Paulina has told me some things that like a guy will like lie and say, "Oh yeah, like I don't even care about it, this and that." But then Paulina will tell me about how they're texting her like, "You're the only one for me. I think I'm in love with you."
Because I'll be hanging out with a guy or something like at school, and then he'll be like, "No, I didn't even care about her. Like I don't love her anymore. Like this," and then I'll go hang out with the girl, and I'll see him texting her like, "Oh, I love you. Please take me back." And I'm just like, okay.
I can change.
Yeah.
And the girl's literally sitting there like,
change for you.
and the girl's literally sitting there like this. Oh my god, he's so annoying.
Yeah,
Every
shit.
single time.
And then
Paulina's told me some
say-
things that Paulina's told me some things that give me secondhand embarrassment, man. It's like,
Then there's the couples that are both
No.
like doing it to each other.
I'm gonna
It's like-
mention this, and I know Claude and Paulina will know exactly what I'm talking about.
we won't say any names. We won't
Now, here's the thing: somebody's done that before, and it was literally maybe a couple weeks ago, and she got so unattracted to him that she got on me. Now, here's the thing: I'm not gonna, disclose too much information, but basically, the way he kind of tried to show off and like be cool in front of his girl was saying that he was gonna headbutt somebody. He's like, "Yo, let me headbutt you," and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." And then he's like, "Why not, dude?" Because I'm not dumb, okay? I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna do that because I'm not dumb. And I hate to say it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, she got so unattracted to him that she ended up getting on me, you know what I mean? But
Nothing to
Oh, go ahead.
but basically, that's what girls get unattracted by is a guy trying to show off too much, and at the end of the day, like she'll probably end up looking at some other
Bro, let's
guy.
arm wrestle. Let's see who's
And-
stronger.
Yeah, and I've noticed that when people like that try to do stuff, they'll try to look at another guy because they're so unattracted from him that they'll look at another guy, and if a guy looks at her, there's something called rizzing. The guy will rizz her up, and eventually she'll end up going to that guy instead of the guy that she was originally messing with.
It's
you know
because if a girl's not getting something from the guy that is with her, she's gonna go find it in somebody else.
Yeah, there's no excitement.
Like
something. Tell us what
attraction.
Okay.
If she's dating a guy and there's no more attraction there, she's gonna go find it from somebody else.
What makes guys attractive?
I mean, here's the thing.
Being a wussy.
You're hanging out with a whole bunch of your homeboys, and one of your homeboys has a girl over, and they're talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and that. Okay, if you're not gonna do this, and that you say you are, whenever you guys hang out in person, and you're hanging out with a whole bunch of guys, she's gonna find somebody who is gonna do that.
Yeah.
So one of your buddies.
And here's the thing. Even some girls do it. Even actually, a bunch of girls do it. They'll say a bunch of stuff over the phone, and when they get here, they're all like this, like not doing anything. And then eventually, like if a girl does that and she doesn't end up doing what she says she's gonna do, I'm just gonna leave.
Well, I could see the girl backing off, but a guy, if he says he's gonna do something, it's usually men are judged by their word. They do what they say they're gonna do. I mean. And in that case, he should at least try some. But if the girl decides she doesn't want to do it, of course, he needs to back off. But
well, then wait, hold on. Whenever women do that, it's probably because the guy hasn't made the first move, like they're too scared to, or it could be from both sides, like they're both scared to do it.
How about that, Paulina? What about you with a guy and he waits for you to try to kiss him?
It's unattractive because then it's like I don't know how to explain it, but it also makes me lose attraction in somebody because then it's just like, oh, you were scared to kiss me and I had to initiate the kiss. Which another reason why I don't like that is because then it makes me feel unwanted by that person, and it's like I just kissed him and he didn't even want to kiss me. Like if I have to lean in for the kiss and he doesn't even lean in with me, like it's okay if like we both lean in at the same time, but if I lean in and the guy doesn't and he just sits still, it's like, okay, I'm gonna leave because you obviously don't want to be around.
And then
when someone asks me if they want to kiss me, you don't ask. Like if I don't want to kiss you, I'm gonna move. Like you don't have to ask.
The problem is nowadays men are told, guys are told, well, you need to get consent for everything. So I mean, they're really in a bad position. I mean, I understand what you mean because you don't ask. I think I asked one girl like, "Hey, can I kiss you?" a long time ago, and I went and did it. But I mean, that's once out of I don't know how many girls, and it worked. But yeah, you don't. You just do it, and if she says no, then you stop. But guys are afraid now. There's this consent deals.
And there's also like you can even ask Claude about this, but I don't care if he tells me, "Oh, yo, I bet you won't go get that." I will walk up to the girl and ask anything, like, and I've done it before actually.
Yeah, but not everybody's as bold as you are.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: if you want to get a girl, and this is for all you little simps out there, if you want to get a girl, don't be scared to get rejected. It does not matter. You can get rejected. I've gotten rejected 1,000,000 times, and I still don't care. I will still walk up to a girl, and I will still do the same things I do now.
That's what you got to do. I know guys are so afraid of getting rejected, they don't do anything.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, get rejected. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of girls out there. The more times you get rejected, the more experience you'll have walking up to a girl. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, another thing is like, and there's another way of asking a girl if you can kiss her instead of being like straightforward, like, oh, can I kiss you? Like, because not all the time girls want to hear you just ask her, oh, can I kiss you? There's like such an easier way. There's like you messing around being like, hypothetically, what if I kissed or something? There's a different way you can do it.
You could say like, how would you feel if I kissed you right now?
Yeah, instead of being like,
instead of like this.
The technological terms.
Yeah.
It's really not so much the words; it's the way you release the words.
Yeah, I mean, you can go at it. You could go at it like and be like, "If I kissed you, would you let me or would you push me away?"
Here's the thing about me: I don't care. I will walk up to the girl and be like, I'll literally just like, okay. And some girls like this by grabbing their face, and I'll just kiss them. If they're like this, it's like okay. I just walk away. I'm like, all right.
I've walked up to a girl I never met before. I met her online. I kissed her right off the bat. I mean.
He frizzed up.
Better off to do that than here's what I see guys have a lot of trouble with. Well, how do I escalate it? If you walk up to them, at least hug them or touch them or kiss them on the cheek or something right off the bat, you don't have to worry about escalating later on. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
a
gonna
lot
go
of
back to
guys
your
wait till
boys.
the end of the date and they want to get that goodnight kiss. Man, they built that thing up. The tension's there. She can feel it. It's like you done screwed up if you waited.
You're
that
not
long.
Yeah.
waiting on the doorstep waiting for her to
Right,
be like,
right,
all right,
right.
I'm ready to go inside.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you're gonna sit there, you're gonna wait, and you're gonna like, all right, good night.
You want to
So-
make it an awkward moment, do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, if you and the girl are hugging, like let's say you're standing up, you're both standing up, and she's like, hugging around your waist or whatever, that should be enough of an indicator to know that you'll be able to kiss her without her pulling back. If she's
Yeah.
that like holding on to you and
Yeah,
stuff like
girls,
that, you know.
girls put themselves in a position for you to do something. They're not going to be the
Mhm.
aggressor. In most cases, they're not going to be the aggressor. And if they are, then that puts you in a position of the beta, and the
Mhm.
girl's the alpha.
Well, another thing I was gonna say is hang out with people that encourage you to walk up to a girl and say what's up. Because him and I were walking back, and he had seen this one girl, and he was like, "Man," he's like, I really want to ask for her Snapchat." So instead of me being like, "Oh no, she won't be attracted," well, like a couple weeks prior, like a couple weeks ago, I tried getting with her, and she wasn't attracted to me, but she was giving Frank, like she was eyeing him. So Frank's like, "Man, I want to ask her what her Snapchat is." So I told Frank to walk over there. Sure as hell, Frank ended up getting her number.
Or no, okay. So basically, she was dating somebody, but I gave her my number, and she said, "Okay, well, if me and him don't work out, I'll hit you up." That's what she said.
Hey, we got Wade here tonight. He's checking it out. Glad you could join us, Wade.
But also here's another thing about like the whole like people like how would I explain it? People being afraid to kiss a girl. If you go to kiss her and she pulls back, just act like you don't care.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
Try again
at
later.
the end of the day, if you don't text her when she gets home, she's gonna text you and be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pull back" or something like that. You know what I mean?
How
But
many
it's like,
guys though? How many guys apologize? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even when you go up to talk to a girl and she's, "I got a boyfriend." Oh, I'm sorry. Why in the hell are you sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't know you
You're
had a
sorry for
boyfriend.
being a
Right?
man and
Yeah,
walking
that's
up and
what I'm-
approaching. You don't apologize
And-
because she's sorry if she's married or what. Doesn't make any difference.
Even for some guys, their confidence goes down whenever a girl says, "I got a boyfriend." They'll get less confident and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I had no idea."
I don't know
Like,
why they
don't-
apologize. you know?
Yeah, like act like you do not care because that's how you're
Well,
supposed
the bottom
to do
line,
it.
you have no reason to be sorry.
Right?
Sorry that you're a man, and you should be proud of yourself. And you don't know, you approached her, whatever. Almost every girl that's halfway decent and even maybe not looking, even if they're not, they got somebody. They got a beta in waiting. They got somebody in the wings. They got somebody they broke up with. They're still talking to her. Whatever. They got somebody.
Mhm.
So very few girls you're going to talk to, especially if they're really attractive, are going to say, "Oh, I'm single and I've been single for 6 months." Yeah, right.
Right. And let's say me and Claude were like, Claude saw this cute girl or whatever. I would push him to go talk to the girl.
Yeah, hang out with people who are gonna encourage you to take that first step forward and do something instead of just like being afraid and then being like, "Oh no, it's fine." But another thing that people have that a lot of people have the tendency to do is they'll be like they'll like go to the mall or something like that and they'll see a girl they don't know and then as soon as they go home, "Oh, I saw you at the mall," but you don't say anything.
Oh, dude, that's the
Like,
worst.
Yeah, that's simpy. How many times has that happened to you, Polly?
Probably 10 times
Yeah,
or more.
you're always,
She's
you're-
kept track.
Well,
It's
I
happened
mean,
so
Are you
much.
notching out on your belt?
You go to
Yeah.
you go to the school. You go to school and people will see you in the hallways. They'll be like, "Oh, I seen you in the hallway," but you don't say what's up.
Yeah.
So,
Well, usually when I'm
Where's my hug at?
usually when I walk in the hallway or I walk in a classroom, I keep my head up because in my mind it's just a little bit off topic. When I walk into a classroom, I keep my head up so people can acknowledge that I'm paying attention instead of like keeping my head down and sitting on my phone or something. So like because I do have confidence, so and I guess that's kind of what guys are attracted to is a girl who has confidence. So when you walk in a room, it's more wise to keep your head up instead of keeping your head down like this. Like guys do that all the time. Guys will walk in the classroom and their head will be down or they'll be doing something like that. And then I usually keep my head up so people are like, "Oh, I saw you in the hallway." And I know they're there. I don't look at anybody. I never look at anybody in their eyes. I walk straight. And if there's somebody standing right in front of me, walking towards me, I just look over and I keep walking because then it's like,
You thought I was looking at you?
then it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but
Well, that's what I tell people. You walk in that room like you own the place.
Yeah.
Walk in there like you're somebody, because if you don't, you're a nobody. If you walk in there like you're somebody, you feel like you're somebody, guess what? People are going to treat you like you're somebody.
Yeah, and then obviously people are going to hate and they're going to be like, she thinks she's everything. It's like,
Yeah.
because I
That's
am.
because-
so,
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely.
If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else. I say better to err on the side of arrogance than debasing humility.
One thing that's been popular lately on TikTok is it started off with like Batman or something. She's like she wants Batman, but she walks by Bruce every day.
Oh, yeah. Well, Superman's the same thing. She
Yeah.
wants Superman. She walks by Clark Kent every day.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah. It's like what?
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is, getting back on the subject of Kevin Samuels, he's taught a lot of people a lot of things. He was a really wise person. So,
well, basically, what we're talking about is what Kevin taught, and what he taught by examples, being direct
yeah,
and saying what you want, saying how you feel, saying what you think. And a lot of people just can't handle that. But women are actually attracted to that, especially in a man who says what he thinks. He doesn't mess around about it, and he stands behind his word, and he's a man.
Well, they don't realize it, but it may not seem like it in the moment, but it gets you farther than expected.
Of course it does.
It could get you just that small step just to get your first kiss with her.
Well, what's the main reason, Paulina, that you break up with your boyfriends?
they simp out on me.
And what do you mean by simping out?
They start being too lovey-dovey. They kind of they start complimenting me too much.
So you guys listen to this.
Basic stuff like that, but it's like I've had so many failed relationships because guys just won't man up. It's like we're getting older. Like that's why sometimes I consider dating an older guy, but then it's like some of these, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but basically half the reason why, or the main reason why I always end up breaking up with people, which I don't always like doing because it makes me feel bad sometimes, not for them, but the fact that I've been in so many failed relationships because there's no one out here. There's nobody that fits my standards. And I have high standards because I'm attractive. I'm,
Right.
I have a reason to have high standards, but there's just nobody out here that I truly want because everybody always simps out on me. And then it's just like, sometimes I lose hope, feel like I'm never going to find a boyfriend, and usually when I start off in a relationship, everything is like perfect. Everything seems okay. And then getting into the relationship more, people just start simming out on me. And I'm just like, I don't want you.
So I just saw this video on Snap, and these kids were at this drive-thru or whatever, and I guess they think it's funny or a girl's going to find it hot or something, but he's like, you forgot my shake. And then like, shake that booty. But here's the thing. It's not funny, bro. Like, just talk to the girl. Just be like, hey, what's up? How's your day? Even as she's at the window.
I'll go back to this. You can pretty well say it just depends how you speak.
Man, he's like, oh, dude, you forgot my shake? Oh, you forgot my shake? Yeah,
What
shake that
shake?
booty. Like, it's not funny. Just talk to the girl. Be
And
like,
then
hey,
the kid
what's
in the
up?
back will be like, drive.
Yeah,
And the person will
They did
just,
something wrong.
and then the person will just sit there. The driver will just sit there and let him get embarrassed. Just sit there and they don't drive away. And then they finally do.
If that ever happened to me, I'd be like, I'd probably be like driving. If they didn't drive, I'd be like, hey, yo, can I get your set though? Or something. I would have said something.
So how's your day going?
Yeah.
You going good? How's your shift?
I would have at least talked or something.
Get off soon?
Not to get embarrassed or anything, but it's like, don't be embarrassed to get rejected by a girl,
Yeah. I'm really not like that. It's just my friends.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. I have a meeting to go to. It's almost 7 o'clock. And once again, my condolences to the family of
Colleagues.
Kevin Samuels and his friends, close friends. I was sad and surprised when I heard about him passing away. And his videos still live. His legacy lives on. That's the one thing. He left a legacy behind, a lot of videos, and that people can still learn from and become better. So thank you, Kevin, and for all you gave as you lived here. And I'd say he gave 100%, 110%. That's all we got for tonight. We'll be back next Saturday. Next Saturday, we're going to have a Marine on. I want to have an old Marine and a new Marine, but the old Marine is kind of nervous, so I don't know if I can get him to come on. But I will have a new Marine, and we're going to talk about the masculinity situation in the U.S. So that's all we got for tonight. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.